Next time you're designing a survey, this is the first thing I want you to do. It's super simple, but a lot of people sit down to write a survey and they just start writing all these questions, brainstorming, but they're brainstorming in the format of questions. That's a problem, and it often, in my opinion, results in questions that aren't very good. We'll get to an example of that in a second. But what I want you to do first is write down your goals for the survey. So your goals for the survey would take the form of what you hope to learn from doing the survey. So for example, I do an onboarding survey when I work with people, and my goals for that survey are one, to get some basic background information on people. For instance, I ask people how do you pronounce your name? I ask them the best way to contact them. I ask them if they feel comfortable sharing a physical address where I can mail something, because my love language is giving gifts, and I love to send gifts to clients. So I have one goal is to learn and collect people's background information. Then another goal that I have for my onboarding survey is to understand what people who are working with me have as a goal for working with me. So I have questions to get at their goals for our work together. So we have background, we have goals. Then the final goal of my onboarding survey is to gauge people's confidence and knowledge in different parts of research design and survey design. So I ask questions around how confident people feel doing certain things. I ask questions about how they're currently collecting data and how good they think that data is. So 3 goals. I want to collect background information, I want to understand people's goals for working with me, and I want to assess, get a self-reflection of their knowledge and confidence in research and survey design. So then when I'm writing questions, all the questions have to fall into one of those categories or align to those goals. And if I have a question and it doesn't map to one of those goals, it's off the survey. In a more complicated survey, for a research study, for instance, or for an evaluation, or you're doing market research and you have many more questions, or it just feels a little less basic than onboarding, then it can be helpful when you're thinking of your goals to think about, what do I hope to be able to say with the results from the survey? Oh, I want to be able to share how much people like this thing, or I want to be able to share how easy people think this thing is to use. And by thinking about what you want to be able to share, you can kind of backward map to create your goals. And again, the point of this is to use the goals as almost a mapping checklist for your survey. I've been working with a client on this recently, and it's been super helpful because they have a really long survey. Some of the data, they've been doing the survey for years, but some of the data is never used. And so I was just let's just reset. I don't even want to look at your old survey anymore. Put it away. Right now, all I want to talk about is when you send this survey out every year, what is it that you want to learn? What are your goals? And that has been such a useful tool to create the new survey or to revise their old survey in that instance. So here's an example of why I think this is important. So a while ago, Instagram gave me this survey question, which was, how quickly or slowly do you get a response from your friends and family using Instagram? So before we talk about the goals issue, let's talk about glaring issues with this question. For starters, it's something called double-barreled. You see the little word and? If you see and, it means your question's double-barreled, which basically means you're asking about 2 things at the same time. So they're asking about a response from friends and family. I don't know about you, but my family, certain members of my family who happen to be older, are in a different category of usage and understanding of messages on different social media platforms than, for instance, my friends who are business owners and are on Instagram all the time. So to ask me to answer about my friends and family in the same question, I don't know, do I click very slowly because my mom is really slow on Instagram and might never reply to me because she might not even see the message, or to click very quickly because my friends are on Instagram all the time for their jobs and they message me right back? That's the problem with double-barreled questions. You can also see that in this question, they have the dreaded, in my opinion, neutral category, neither quickly or slowly. What speed might that be? Well, they respond to me, it's not quick, it's not slow. So it's average? What is average in your opinion? Maybe my average is pretty quick and your average is pretty slow. And this is where the goals comes in. I would really be interested in knowing, what is it that Instagram hopes to learn or hopes to be able to report out and share from this question? Because if they're interested in average response times, they can actually probably find that out in their analytics for Instagram, right? They wanted to know how Instagram compares to other messaging platforms, which is my hunch because earlier questions asked about all the ways in which you communicate with people. Then you might want to just ask people to make a direct comparison and be if you message someone on Instagram and also send them a text message, where would you be more likely to hear from them first, right? And by someone, you should probably say friends or family, clarify that relationship a little bit more because that matters in thinking about speed of response. The point is, this is a bad question. It's not getting them good data because of the way it's written, because of the answer choices, but the easiest way for them to make it not a bad question would be to think about the goal they have for this information. Instagram's asking you to take a survey. They obviously have a goal for how they want to use this information. So thinking through, like, what do they want to learn? How would they share this information? Would allow them to craft a question about response time, how quick someone messages you back, that actually serves their purposes. Because I don't care what their purpose is, this question cannot possibly be serving it.